You know, a lot of people assume that pro-lifers are conservative Christians living far away from liberal, progressive San Francisco. Well, hello. Good morning. My name is Terrisa Bukovinac. I'm a San Francisco local, a registered Democrat, a feminist, and an atheist. I'm also the president of Pro-Life Future of San Francisco, and I'm here to tell you that contrary to conventional wisdom, there is a thriving and passionate pro-life presence in the city of San Francisco. And many of us have gathered here today to support David and Sandra. Our state's Attorney General, Xavier Becerra, has failed us. He's failed to protect our community and investigate Planned Parenthood's numerous HIPAA violations. He has failed to serve justice and investigate Planned Parenthood's illegal sale of fetal organs. He has betrayed our trust by siding with a massive and powerful organization to try to stifle free speech rights of private citizens. He has abused his authority by filing 15 absurd felony charges against David Daleiden and Sandra Merritt. And he has done all this while accepting thousands of dollars in contributions from the abortion giant. We're here today in solidarity with David and Sandra. They have exposed Planned Parenthood's gruesome and greedy practices perpetrated against unsuspecting women and their preborn children. David and Sandra have done tremendous work to uphold human dignity and protect the innocent and vulnerable, while Planned Parenthood cynically profits off of human deaths, destroying lives at a rate that is almost unimaginable. Who should San Francisco side with? Who do you side with? San Franciscans care about freedom of the press. We care about free speech. We value human life, and we value those who work to protect it. And our public servants must reflect those values. It's time to regulate the abortion industry, eliminate bought politicians, and restore justice to California. We stand with David and Sandra. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to hear from former Deputy District Attorney Brent Ferreira, who's representing David Daleiden. Thank you.
Good morning. This case should never have been brought. No honest prosecutor in the state of California would have brought this case. Because Mr. Daleiden committed no crime. Ms. Merritt committed no crime. He's charged with violating the privacy law, Penal Code Section 632. An absolute defense to that law is that you can record anything you want in a public place. All of his recordings were made in extremely public places. The St. Francis Hotel, restaurants, hallways and meeting rooms of the hotel. There's no case here. There's also a statute that says you can even record confidential communications if you are investigating violent felonies. David was investigating violent felonies. Judge Haidt knows we're coming with an affirmative defense if this ever goes to preliminary hearing. He gets that. He should have granted the demur today, but it was a rather novel theory, and some judges don't like to do novel things. And the 633.5 defense is abundantly clear here because the providers at the interviews stated that they remove intact fetuses from women for the purpose of resale. When you remove an intact fetus, that's prima facie evidence of violating the federal abortion ban, partial birth abortion ban, and that's also prima facie evidence of homicide if the baby is born alive. And in terms of the women, they don't get consents from these women for modifying their abortion procedures in order to supply the baby parts industry. And there's case law right on point that says if a doctor performs a procedure that he has not obtained consent for, that's a battery on the woman. Battery is a violent crime. So we will prevail. It will take time. But we have an innocent client, and we will prevail. Thank you.
Woo! Yes!
My name is Steve Cooley. I was the three-term elected District Attorney of Los Angeles County. I served in that capacity from 2000 to 2012. Now I'm in the unique role of defending David Daleiden. Being a defense attorney is not my historical perspective, but when it comes to an innocent person whose constitutional rights are being violated, who's being persecuted and prosecuted by ill-motivated so-called prosecutors such as Kamala Harris and now Xavier Becerra, I am proud to stand up with my colleague Brent on behalf of David. The great injustice is being done here. It's being done because those two individuals, our former Attorney General, now State Senator Kamala Harris, and our current Attorney General Xavier Becerra, have and are advancing an ill-motivated, improperly motivated, politically motivated criminal prosecution against someone who is doing nothing than expose crime. Expose crime, as he's entitled to do in this country as long as the First Amendment prevails. So we stand with David, and we, as my colleague Brent said, we will prevail. Just a matter of when. But we are on the right side here. We are supporting an innocent person, and I fully expect victory in due course. Thank you.
My name is Peter Breen. I'm with the Thomas More Society of Chicago. I've been a part of a lot of the litigations with David, and I'm here to give you a little more of the global perspective. You know, as you know, that this has been a multifaceted attack on David and Sandra and all of those that have been part of their work in order to shut down his message. We just, though, what I want to let you know is we continue to win. We continue to beat back these attacks. Recently, we just won a Ninth Circuit case, a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, because of David's continued efforts to do research. So he didn't just release the videos and stop. He's now been doing public records requests across the country to try to piece together the evidence of the crimes that are occurring across this industry. And so we were able, in the state of Washington, to be able to overturn a district court injunction. We're going to go back and fight for those records. So that is happening. Look, I mean, this is not the first criminal prosecution we've even had to deal with. We had to go to Houston, Texas, and beat those charges back, which we did. These charges are even weaker and more outrageous. So we're looking forward to beating those two with the great team we've got here on the ground. But generally, folks need to understand, you know, the abortion industry usually comes in and they win. I mean, they just crush people. Well, we've been able to fight back. We've taken the punches and we're landing. Even today, you saw in the hearing, hey, the judge acknowledged the affirmative defenses, and we're going to get a hearing on it. So I mean, that's due to the great work of Brent and Steve. So we are continuing to push, and we are going to go through and win a big victory here. Remember, you know, the other side has come out of the cave. The dragon's out of the cave, and once he's out, you can now start to do some work on him. And I mean, look, folks, if you want to see the other practical results, state after state after state defunding Planned Parenthood. The federal government is in the midst of a process of defunding Planned Parenthood. Those are all of the practical effects. So we never lose hope on this sort of thing. And you know, even when it doesn't go quite the way we want it to, we remain very much confident in a total victory here for the pro-life side, as against Planned Parenthood and their allies in the California government. Thank you. And now, the star of the show, David Daleiden.
Thank you guys so much, all of you, for being here. Thank you, Terrisa, for always being able to organize a really wonderful San Francisco welcome. Thank you so much to Peter Breen and the Thomas More Society, and to Steve Cooley and Associates, Steve Cooley and Brent Ferreira, my incredible experts. You know, louder? Louder. Incredible legal experts and masters of the legal system in California. I'm really fortunate to have such great representation and such great support from all of you lovely people out here in Northern California, where I'm from originally. Thank you. We love you too. It was the most interesting thing to me every morning that I come here to a hearing in San Francisco and I walk into the courtroom It never gets old for me to sit down and look around the courtroom and see plenty of familiar Planned Parenthood faces sitting there in eager expectation of what's going to happen in my bogus criminal case that's been brought by the state of California. One of Planned Parenthood's top-level lawyers from California is in there. She helped them write the criminal case. And one of Planned Parenthood's top movement historians is there. I think that she's probably there to chronicle the downfall of their movement. But the focus of the presence of Planned Parenthood there in the courtroom every morning, every time that we have a hearing, that just highlights what's the central problem with this case. And that's the fact that what I did is no different, what Sandra and I both did is no different from what local news sources and local news outlets do every single day here in the state of California when they go undercover and publish undercover hidden camera news stories on issues all across the state every day, every week, every month. What we did isn't any different from what those establishment news journalists do. The only difference is that we went after and we recorded and we exposed the sacred cows of the California political establishment, Planned Parenthood and the National Abortion Federation and their allies and proxies in the abortion industry, the political backers of the organs of power in the state of California. And I think the reason that they and their allies and their political cronies are moving so aggressively now is because ultimately this isn't about me, this isn't about Sandra, this isn't about the undercover investigators, this is about the videos. This is about those videos, half of which still have never seen the light of day. And yet the Attorney General purports to use them to prosecute me and Sandra even though the public can't see the evidence and can't see the videos. But Planned Parenthood knows that they are one vote away in the United States Senate from losing $500 million in taxpayer subsidies a year and from seeing their abortion empire crumble. They are one vote away. They are one awful sting video away from that vote happening. They are one damning, incriminating sting vote away from seeing criminal prosecutions against them, against the real bad guys, not against citizen journalists who are just following the First Amendment. So thank you all so much for being here. It is a huge encouragement to me, to Sandra, to my entire team at CMP. I'm looking forward to coming back here very soon. I'm looking forward to working together with all of you to see the day that I think will soon come where there's no longer a price tag put on human life. Thank you.